Peace and love, and welcome to Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Today we are continuing our talk about this Halloween season and how it's affecting not only our spirit, but the spirits of the people around us and that energy of the people around us. But today is kind of the final week of National Heritage Month. And I just want to shout out to all my Hispanic people and friends out there that are listening to us and watching. We love you. We bless you. We behold a Christ in you. You know, there's so many similarities really between Hispanic culture and West Indian culture that I have grown to learn and love. Not only the food and the music, but also the people, you know. Some of the best times I've had in my life were with people of Hispanic heritage. They know how to party, right? They know how to celebrate life, and what great joy that is. So to all of my Hispanic brothers and sisters out there, let me try to get this. Amor a la, okay, I'm not gonna even do it. I'm working on my Spanish, but I'm not gonna even butcher it in any way. So we'll just go straight into today's lesson. Today's topic for our motivational message is being the light in the darkest moments. Being the light in the darkest moments. Because I believe that we have the power to be just like the sun. You know, when you get up in the morning and you open the blinds, you open up the windows, and the sun just bursts through. It illumines everything in the room. It illumines everything on earth. We have that quality. We have the quality where we can walk into any room and be the sunlight. So today, let us affirm that we are light and light is us. So put your fists in the air and at the top of your lungs, affirm with me, I am light. Light is me. One more time, even more boldly, even more powerfully, I am light. Light is me. Point to yourself, light is me, light is me, light is me. Be the sunlight that illumines all in its wake. You know, they talk about the old saints of old, right? They painted halos over their heads in like these ancient paintings. And there's always a disagreement whether there was an actual halo over these mortal beings' heads, or were they so illumined, were they so filled with light that it just appeared over them, it just appeared all around them, that when you see them, you see light. Whatever it is, know that we are the light of this universe. We have the power to bless, to pray, to heal, to harmonize, not just our world, but all the different worlds, the different people around us. We must know that we do have this power to bless and pray. What I do, and what I would encourage all of us to do, since we know that we have this power, whenever you see an ambulance, whenever you see a police pass by, you know, their job is hard enough as it is. Just think of all the things that they have to see, all the training they go through, and where they're going. So if you're stopped, you know, we're all supposed to pull over. People don't do that. And you always hear, especially when like an ambulance passes by and it's empty in the back, people always say, people get mad, you know, oh, they don't even have someone in the back. Like, you can't go to the crime scene with the body, right? They have to speed to the scene. So if we can just send out that word of love, send out that word of healing, even if they're just whizzing by, just saying, you know what? I send the Spirit of God before you. I send my spirit of light, of joy, of goodness, of faith now before you, that wherever you are going, everything is working out for your highest good, for the person highest good. Everything is wonderful. We have that power to make things right. We have the power to make things beautiful. We have the power to make things drama-free in our life. And people sit back and they say, well, you know, little old me can't do that. Little old me can't just send a prayer and know that it is good and wonderful. And, you know, I'm not even seeing who it is. How can they get my prayer? How can they receive my blessing? Well, it means that you're not sure about how powerful you are. But let me tell you something. You are more powerful than you ever dreamed. You're more powerful than you ever imagined. So let's get that power out. Let's put our fists in the air, high in the air, and let's say, I have the God power. I have the God power to make things right. I have the God power to make things beautiful. I have the God power to make things drama free. No more drama. Like Mary sings, no more drama. Mary J. Blige, for those of you who don't know. Like, who doesn't know Mary J. Blige, right? No more drama in my life. Let it go. And people think that this is a cliche, to say these things, but it works. It works. The techniques that we talk about are used in therapy, in psychology, in AA, in Al-Anon meetings, and all these things where people find that their lives are destroyed, and this is how you build it back. Let us not wait for our life to be destroyed. Let us not wait until we have an issue to really review our lives, to see how things are working in our lives. Let us affirm from now, there is no drama in my life. One of the things that I believe that we have to stop doing is having a dark side. People say, some people have a dark side. First of all, in our scripture reading, Matthew chapter 5, verse 16, it reminds us to let our light so shine before humankind. I don't like to say men, women, whatever it is. We're all one. We're all the same. We're all human. So let's talk about humankind. So let your light so shine before humankind that they may see your moral excellence and recognize God. It is like when you do something good for someone and they go, oh, there is a God. That is you. You have to be this expression of God. We can all look at the evils of the world, right? And we can say, oh, why does God allow this to happen? Why does God allow these people to do this and all this stuff? We'll answer that question eventually in our own consciousness. But for me, I don't care what someone else is doing. I don't care what the dictators are doing. Of course, you do care at a certain point, because when it affects you and your humankind, you care. But my point is that I have to be the example of the love that I know that God is. I have to be this example of peace and joy. And when I see bad things, I have to be the example. I can't change anyone. All I can do is change myself. All I can do is let my light shine. But there are people out there that I don't know what happens to their life. Maybe it's extinguished. Maybe they've gone through so much anguish and doubt and lack and fear in their lives that they forget that they are light. They live in this dark side. If this is you, why? Think about, why do you live in the dark? Why do you live in these dark moments? I wonder about humanity nowadays, right? Have we become so desensitized to evil? When I look at the shows that are out, there's a popular movie called The Purge, where people live out their fantasies of murder and harming people, right? For 24 hours, I believe, or maybe overnight. I don't know what the premise of this movie is. All I know is that for a certain amount of time, all crime is legal. And people just go crazy in this movie. And there have been apparently more than one. Now there's a TV show about it, And I wonder when people look, and then there's this new thing called Squid Game or whatever it is, right? Again, murder, kill. Now, I am not saying, or I am not naive to the fact that we do have murderers in our midst. That is why not only Law and Order, right? Law and Order is on all day. There's different sections of Law and Order because there's different crimes to solve, right? But even like the true, I can't even name one, right? All these true crime, and now you have podcasts, and now it's on an app, and now you can watch it. All of these things. So I know that, yes, there are murders and there are murderers that we live among. There are people who kill. There are crimes that be committed. But can we find a balance? Can we find a balance? Remember good and create good. Can we remember the good things of life and seek to create it in everything that we do? That's one part of it. We must watch those TV shows, those movies, those horror. I know it's October. I know it's coming on to Halloween. I know people want to get scared and everything else like that, and that's fine. People go to these fields where they get scared, the haunted house. They go to old abandoned jails and they look for ghosts and goblins and ghouls and everything else. There must be a balance, right? We must also find things to laugh at. We must also find things to enjoy in life. Because when we're allowing all these things to come into our life, what kind of mood are we setting in our world? What kind of mood are we giving out to people? Listen, people should never be scared or frightened of you. People should never be scared or frightened of you, and you should never be scared or frightened of people. There is nothing in this world to fear. You have a God within you that is saying you are stronger than that. You are stronger than anything that can frighten you. You are stronger than anything that can scare you. You are the power of God. I hear people say all the time, FML, which means F my life. Now, you know the four-letter word that F stands for. We'll just say forget for the purpose of free talking here, right? But imagine people so bogged down in negation, so bogged down in what I'm doing wrong, what I can't do right, that they would forget about their life. Stop that vocabulary right here and right now. Live without fear. Live without fearing people and having people fear you. Live above that. Live with all the love that you can express in your life. Let's affirm this affirmation. I live with love. I live in love. And there is never fear. There is never fear. And my wonderful affirmation is, I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. Now listen, it doesn't mean that there are things in my life that don't give me pause, right? But I got to remember what I'm telling you today, that I have a God within me that is stronger than any fear, any frightening thing that can happen in my life. But it all starts with my attitude. It all starts with our attitudes, our feelings, the way that we are using words, the way that we are saying words. We must remember that our attitudes and our feelings become the adjectives of our words. It becomes the inflection in our words. Let's think about that, right? The word adjective. Adjective is to express something. So not only is something good, but we add an adjective. Something is very, very good, right? Something is awesomely good, right? Those adjectives that impress on the word, that emphasize the words, our feelings, our attitudes emphasize the words that we're giving out to people. We must realize how we're saying things with sarcasm, in a mean-spirited and hateful way. How we're saying things to initiate guilt, right? Some of us, we have these relationships, and instead of just leaving the relationship because it's not giving us what we need, we say words that make the other person guilty, right? So they can sit back and say, oh my God, I can never do this again. Instead of us just saying, that's not what I want. We have we give out feelings of guilt. We say words of guilt so the other person can, I don't know what we're expecting from these feelings. We talk about words of fear, right? Confusion. Some of us, again, in these relationships, I will never forget a Kevin Hart special where he talked about when he's losing an argument, he just starts talking louder. And then when he starts talking louder, he says something that makes absolutely no sense, right? And then just walks away. He'll be in the middle of an argument and go, see, and I can't stand when you use the microwave and leave it on high and walk away. Now, before he said that, I didn't even know that there were settings on a microwave, right? But there are these things that we send out to confuse people, or people are giving it to us to confuse us, right? And then we sit back and we're like, what does that mean? What does the person mean? What are they meaning to say in the world? And I'm here to say it doesn't matter. It doesn't. We must stop giving out confusion, and we must stop receiving confusion from people. It is not worth it. We have a life to live. We have an existence to heal. Let us do that. So as we're interacting with people, as we're realizing that the inflection of our words, right, is not just what we say, but how we say it, the tone of our words. Oxford defines the word inflection as a change in the form of a word to express an attribute such as tense, mood, person, number, or case. It also means the modulation of intonation, right? So the pitch of your voice, the way that you're saying it, right? You can speak to someone even over the phone and know if they're smiling. You can speak someone, you ever call a customer service and they pick up the phone like they bothering you? Like if you didn't buy the product, they wouldn't have a job, and now that it's not working, you're bothering them, right? Are you kidding me? And these are the things, the little vexations in our spirit. Now that they have an attitude, we have an attitude, and it's just attitude central. And we're going back and forth. Stop with all of that. This month I said we're going to talk about these, evil occults, whatever we're calling this Halloween season. So we must also talk about curses, right? Those 4-letter words, right? Don't let people curse at you, and you must remember not to curse at other people. But also, not only the 4-letter words, but those curses. Those I am sick, you are ugly, you are this, right? All these curses that we're giving out to people. Don't send out curses towards people and don't allow it back. Don't allow those negative curse words and those negative feelings and those energies and those spirits come to haunt you. They have no power here. Put your fist in the air, affirm with me. All negative curses are broken now. One more time, even louder. All negative curses are broken now. I burst through in joy. I burst through in joy. Friends, remember that the earth is... I like to take my cue from nature. I always think about that, right? And when I think about the earth, right, just the natural weather patterns on earth, I think about how the earth is not always sunny, right? There are weather patterns and just natural occurrences, not only above, but below. There are volcanoes and earthquakes. There are tornadoes and hurricanes and lightning and thunder and tsunami. But the one thing about these things is that once they come, is because we are building things on earth and we see destruction. But if we're not building on volcanoes and things like that, once it goes through its phase or whatever it's doing, it causes destruction, but it brings something new. It brings something new. So I will ask you now, but when I started this message today, I said that we are the sun that illumines everything in our world. But just like the earth can't always be sunny, sometimes we can't always be sunny, right? Sometimes there are these volcanoes that, start from the things we're not talking about, the things we're not healing, the things we're not discovering about ourselves, and it bubbles up until it becomes literally hot lava. Until these words, these inflections, these attitudes, these feelings explode out of us. Until it's no more a sunny day, but there's lightning and thunder. But just as the earth creates something new after these natural disasters, I will ask you, what are you doing to restore the good feelings in your world? After you have this storm, after you have this eruption, after you have all these negative feelings and actions and reactions, what are you doing to restore them? What are you doing to restore the good feelings in your relationships, in your friends, in your world? What are you doing? Be open. Be open to life. Be open to the people in your world. One of my favorite phrases is, overstand. I overstand. Because there are these situations in our life where we think we understand, right? We think we understand what's going on. And then we learn something about, like, let's say you have a fight with someone, right? You have a disagreement with someone because you have a certain reaction to whatever they did to you or whatever they said to you, right? So you understand that, this is not the person I want. Some people come in hot, like that rap song, I'm coming in hot, right? Some people just come in hot. And some people just have, right, this volcano erupting, right? And then we're mad. And then someone else, or we talk about it and we realize that there was more to the situation than we even thought. The West Indians would say there's more inside the Malta beside the pestle. I think I'm saying it wrong, but for all the West Indians, write me. Let me know what I'm saying wrong. But there's more inside of things. That is an overstanding. I can't tell you how many situations that I've had, that I've gone through where I thought I understood, then I get another point of view, another phase of life, and realize that I have to leave space for extenuating circumstances. I don't know what that person is going through, what they believe. You see, we make plans, but we forget about the emotions behind the plans. We forget about the feelings that come up, not only for ourselves, but for other people. We make these life plans, but we forget about feelings. We forget that we might fall in or out of love with someone. We forget that not everybody may be in our life to stay, or there's more people coming in, right? It's all about that new point of view. Never be scared to try to understand what still needs to be understood. Be open to more understanding in your life to the point where now you can overstand. Now you've opened up your mind and your body and your heart and your spirit to receive what the other person is giving. And we can overstand with that. Remember, always, at least try to be open to understanding what still needs to be understood. Fist in the air, affirm with me. I am going to work it out. I am either going to or gonna, it doesn't matter. You're going to work it out. Affirm, I am going to work it out. I have confidence in me. Those of you who like the Sound of Music, remember that song? I have confidence in sunshine. I have confidence in rain. I have confidence in me. The last point I want to leave with you today is, remember to hug yourself and smile often. Hug yourself. Just wrap your arms around yourself. Hug yourself and just say, I love me. I love me. Right? Now, we have to get rid of the shame and the embarrassment of hugging ourselves. Because we're out there, especially now that most of us are vaccinated and, we're getting back into this open world, right? I miss hugs. I've been saying that as soon as everything is right again, I'm walking around with a shirt. I'm going to just write with black marker, free hugs, and I'm hugging everybody, right? But hug yourself. Smile about you, right? We're so busy, again, dealing with other people, hugging other people. When they're mad, oh, you need a hug? My friends are great for that. As soon as something's going on, oh, do you need a hug? And I'm like, I'm good, because I know that I can hug myself. I know that I can support myself. I remember RuPaul always says, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love someone else? Or how is anyone else going to love you? If you can't hug yourself, if you can't look at yourself and say, I am wonderfully made, I am blessed, I am a child of a living God. This is how we become the light in the darkest moments of our lives. By putting on our oxygen masks first, right? When the plane is going down. I'm going to give you that story one day, because maybe this month, because we talk about fright and being fearful. Try being in a plane where, you're in a nosedive and the oxygen masks come down, right? They always remind you on the plane, put on your oxygen mask first. And sometimes that means clocking out of the regular world. What I do, I love to read the news, right? But sometimes it's so depressing, especially now. People are so emboldened in their racism and things like that. James Baldwin always said, well, once said, to be a Negro in America and to be relatively conscious is to be in a rage almost all of the time, because we know what America is doing. We know the basis of American racism, because America is a racist country. But sometimes we have to clock out of those things. Between Friday and Monday, I don't want to read the news. I don't want to know what's going on. If it's something important, someone will send it to me. I'll read it Tuesday. Give yourself the freedom to clock out. Give yourself the freedom to hug yourself, to smile with yourself. Let's practice this. I want you to hug yourself. I can't do it with the microphone, but just hug yourself as tight as you can, right? As far as you can reach. And just say, close your eyes, think about you, think about yourself, and say, I love me. I love me. Smile and say, I love me. When you're away from this video, go in front of a mirror, look at yourself, hug yourself, and say, I love me. I love me. Isn't that wonderful? Because, like we said last week, the greatest love of all is you, is the love that you have for you. And once you realize how important this is, how important your self-love is, you can always be the light in the darkest moments. Put your fist in the air and affirm this last affirmation today with me. I love me. I love the power in me. I love the power in me to make things perfect in my life and in my world. Friends, those clouds are going to come. Again, not every day is going to be sunny, but we have the power to be the sun. We have the power to be the light that bursts through the clouds. It's so funny that after a storm, right? After a tornado, whatever it is, it's a beautiful sunny day. Friends, the storms, the tornadoes, the volcanoes, the hurricanes, all of the negative weather patterns in your life, all of the dark moments in your life has now been removed. You are the light. Burst through in those dark moments. You are the light. Always remember that. And as you do, I know that you will live a life where you know that, you know what? I am blessed. Not only is Reverend Jason telling me to be blessed, but I feel blessed. I know that I am blessed. Friends, keep that same energy every day in every way, and know that you truly are the light in any dark moment that can ever come up in your life. I love you. Be blessed.